What's up? Let me figure out the computer stuff. Let's see. Okay, I think we are live. So, everybody who has something they want to hear about, please drop it in the comments. You know, if if you have been good, you've been paying attention, you've been watching secret MIA moves in the dark. The dark of Rick Rubin's tetragrammaton.com, where I have basically put out an entire book about the tarot, and now putting out my translation of the I Ching, which if you've been around for a while, you know that I translated back in 2022 and early 2023. That is finally coming out with commentary. It's very exciting. Yeah, let's will you compile your occult philosophy into collected? I've been thinking about doing my old writing as a book, a separate book. But, you know, Tetragrammaton is going to be publishing my tarot book, and down the line, my I Ching book. So that's good. Where can I buy the Thoth? So, okay, sadly, the Gift of Thoth is out of print. It has been for a while, but possibly, let's go on the computer. See if you can still get the cryptid cards. We are restocked. You can get the, all right, never mind, they are sold out. It's lying. We're lying. What a shame. If you message us, there's a chance you could probably get a deck. Oh my god. Now all the comments are coming. I need to read what y'all are saying. I have a computer beside me so that I can have the camera here and look at the comments here. So don't be offended by my looking away. How did you meet Gary? So Gary is a really fantastic astrologer, but it's really only through my work with Haley Garrigus, who is a great director. She made a movie that heavily features Gary called Star Cash, which all of you should go on the starca.sh. That is our website. I'm a producer on this picture. It's very exciting. Bare minimum prerequisite. Planetary Conspiracy. No, Planetary Conspiracy was not taken down. It's just called I Hate the Antichrist. Still wondering when we'll get a new video. I filmed a video recently, but somebody, I doubt he's going to watch this live stream, but there is a 6-7 video. It's been made. I'm waiting for it to be ready to upload, but I do hope that you'll all be excited. And yes, Junior Boy, it is essentially an expansion deck, this Trans-Neptunian deck. Thank you, MIA Emperor. This sweater is a nice gift from my friend Augie. Yes, exactly. Yes, if you want to get Alluvia, my long, mysterious book, my poetry book, you can go onto T.Archivist's website. I believe it's Pinacoteca Books. Let's see if I can find this. Finn, you can affirm. Yeah, Pinacoteca.com has Alluvia. The only place in the whole world you can get my book. This is big and important. Thoughts of Neptune entering Aries. So I think this is very significant, you know. Saturn has also just entered Aries, conjoining Neptune at the 0 degree. certainly, thank goodness that we're getting out of that Piscean energy. I think many people have felt very, lazy and weird. There's all this weirdness about life. Finally, it can get violent. Finally, it can get aggressive. Um, no, I don't. I mean, all of astrology is bad. Everything that happens is always bad for somebody, and everything's good for somebody. But I do think, at least for me, I'm excited for action. I'm excited for things to be material again. It's been, at least since I was born, so wishy-washy and spiritual, intellectual, thoughtful. And now it'll finally be active again. The last time that it was there was the American Civil War. Neptune, that is. Uranus is having its return, which is also the natal return in the US chart. The US was born when Uranus was in Gemini. World War II was Uranus in Gemini. And the Civil War was Uranus in Gemini. And it's going back very soon. Intriguing. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with Levy, Shinyum. There's no Earth Elemental card because the majors are the letters, the Hebrew letters. The three mother letters of the three elemental cards. They're Tav is playing a double role as Earth, which is Saturn. So in my deck, Night. Night would also count as Earth. Tav plays that double role because Aleph, Mem, Shin are the three elements. Why don't you upload? I don't have anything. Hey bro, why don't you upload anymore? There's no memes to analyze. Memes are too quick. It's something I talked about it years ago that this was going to happen. I think I'm going to stream more because I can talk about a lot of different things on a stream. I still have things to say, just nothing about any, specific memes, at least nothing that is going, by the time my video would come out, unless it's an extremely low quality video, there's nothing to analyze. The meme will be long dead by the time a video is made. It's not like the old days. Thank you, PF Young. Let's see. Thank you, Gormordius. I'm happy you think I look like Tony Soprano. No, I am not a Asian. This has long been an accusation against me. Not that I'd be upset if I was Asian, but this is fairy. It's Irish. It's all Irish. Like that actor Barry Keoghan. I don't know how you'd say his name. That is similar. The epicanthal fold, the epicanthal tilt. I don't know what the fuck they call it. Because I'll be out drinking with the lady. Notable books. What are some of the notable books that I've read in between making videos? I have been very focused on kind of my deck making, and so the next one of the next decks that's going to be coming out is a Mayan mythology deck. Thank you, Christopher. Is a Mayan mythology deck, and I had developed this interest in Mayan mythology because of my readings of William S. Burroughs. As I wanted to kind of do the Burroughsian thing, I sought the resource that he learned from when he was in college in Mexico City. And so I just used the sources that would have been available to him. It's kind of a throwback deck. And there is a fantastic, fantastic book by a fellow named Daniel G. Brinton called A Primer in Mayan Hieroglyphics. And that is my single source for it. Just to give, an illustration, if you have Ixtab. Ixtab is the goddess of suicide, the goddess of hunting, the goddess of like snares and traps. she's in Cities of the Red Knight. So I was like, well, this is obviously the Hanged Man. Apuk, the Destroyer, obviously death. And then you get to a god like Itzamna, and it's so obvious that they're describing the same person as Hermes or Thoth or Odin, to the point where this is the god who invented writing and time and symbols and magic and all of this. It's all the gods, you all know this. All the gods are all the same. So, no, Christopher, I'm reading right now. You can just tell me. I will try to pay attention. So, I followed this book to find the deck. Corresponded the Mayan day signs to the Hebrew letters. It's a whole fantastic and very fun process. I forget what the question was, but that's what, books. The King in Yellow, which I had read before that, what's his name, video. Somebody made a video popularizing it. Mayan deck is Lenormand. All of my decks at this point are Lenormand, which is a 36 card deck rather than a 78 card deck, meaning it has the 32 paths in the Tree of Life, 10 Sephiroth, 22 letters, and 4 worlds. So that's how we get a 36 card deck. How can an is that a complete? How can an intellectual tell me, Christopher? Sorry, Christopher. I don't know if you missed a word. How can an intellectual? But I like that alone too. How can an intellectual believe in astrology as much as tarot? Well, astrology is the basis of tarot in many ways. Astrology, major basis for Kabbalah. Leon Jumeau, I just did an article about George Bataille and the Solar Anus on Tetragrammaton, one of the I Ching articles. But I don't think that astrology is some kind of crazy belief. In my, that I've been not making videos, I have been mingling with the lords of the earth. No joke. MemeAnalysis got MemeAnalysis became a fairly happening guy in the past few years. I'm home right now for a second. But how can we use astrology for evil? Astrology can, in fact, be used for evil. I'm fully in tarot, but astrology. Well, okay, Christopher, I think astrology, yet again, tarot at least has the benefit of being very occult. Astrology has undergone this very tragic, dissolution because of newspapers. Astrology used to be a very high art, and to understand, if you want to get it, you just have to read, Firmicus and what is it? Firmicus is Valentinus. You got to read these old guys. You got to read the old astrology. Just disregard everything about what you think of astrology now. Pretty much all of it is bullshit if you're just learning now. How well do you know Galahad? Milo, I don't mean to talk badly, but I do think that he has some problems with me. But that's fine. I'm Valens. Thank you, Dante. I've mostly learned from people. I've mostly been learning from teachers, the astrology. But I've read Nullset, thank you very much. You have truly provided a north through your readings and videos. Thoughts on AI? I'm glad that you ask. Thankfully, AI is complete bullshit. Pretty much all of it is nonsense. It's all complete bullshit. All fake marketing to pump up these stocks, these AI stocks. If you actually use the AI and you have a mind, you can see that it's complete fucking bullshit and doesn't work. It doesn't actually work. This is always what's amazed me. I mean, I'll preface that with, it works for very dumb stuff. It works for things that don't really matter. To me, I would say. In terms of understanding anything intellectual at all, it's completely useless. completely, completely useless. It knows nothing. Advanced enough problems also it just can't handle, and I don't think it's going to get better. I really don't. I think that it's a done up chat bot. It is a done up chat bot that's being sold as a god, which is cool. That's cool in its own right. Let's see. Let's see. My favorite They Might Be Giants album, undoubtedly, is John Henry. John Henry, I think, is so much fun. A really important personal connection to that record. But Lincoln and the Else are also very close. Let's see. Sending stuff into outer space. All right, I'm getting word from my editor. 6-7 might be out tomorrow on the eclipse. It'll be an evil video. Exactly. AI is just, Danny Dreadnought says AI is Google in a sequin skirt. It's a bad search engine. And also, I mean, where do I find patrons? I mean, listen, buddy, I'm not the person to be asking that. Of my chart, Gary said, that is one of my gifts. I'm very skilled at getting patrons for myself, dealing with people like that. But I don't know if I can explain it to people. It's just a personal thing. I don't know what Astro Guru is. Somebody asking if I've considered doing tarot on it. Thoughts on old conspiracies getting hyped. This is actually something I was talking about during the break with Izzy Griffin. If you watched that interview I did with him, I was talking to him about how, conspiracy is a field that never advanced. It is, I love it. I am a big fan of conspiracy. I love Art Bell. I love all of that stuff. It's really fascinating. It's beautiful art to me. But nothing has advanced since like the 1800s. The same conspiracies are all that we have. We don't have any new conspiracies, which is why my website, the personality test about the zodiacal conspiracy, is my final say on the whole matter. Yes, conspiracy is real and it happens, but it's only zodiacal phenomena. It's entirely archetypal. There is no, blah, blah, blah. It's sad. Let's see. It's funny you say you look like I've lost weight. I certainly don't think so. My body dysmorphia. Aleister Crowley died alone. Yes, he did not do the work up until the end. Last time I saw you was on a Reckless Ben video. I am good pals with Ben. He was flummoxed. He didn't know what to do. There's nothing he could do. Miguel, my thoughts on the digital enema have been entirely vindicated. I was writing about AI in 2018, and I was writing about what people would do with it, and I was completely right. You can look at my Substack. I'm not going to lie. All of my early work was vindicated by the use of AI in pop culture. And Grimordius, I'm not like a Thelemite. I'm not like a faithful Thelemite. I think Aleister Crowley understood the science of the occult best. I don't do just Thelemic magic. That is not my thing. I would never follow one person or one belief system. Thank you, Medicine. I've been doing very well. Nothing new under the sun, indeed. Astrology presents as very fatalistic. Well, there's something called remediation. You know, it is possible to interact with the placements in a chart. But yes, it is certainly generally fatalistic, and you know that's its origin is a trap set by the gods. We will have reprints of Gift of Thoth. I don't know when, but it will happen. I think probably going to write a book. Probably going to write a book for you all to go with it. But that's a great work in itself. But I do think I can get it done. Books for learning astrology. I do like Aleister Crowley's book, but I would start as old as you could get. And just read mythology. If you want to understand it, just read about Greek myths, Roman myths. You know, understand the planets and the gods first. How do you make money for a living? I have many patrons. I write. You know, I get paid. My handlers are paying me to tell you my secrets, my false secrets. I don't know. How do you people think I make money? I certainly don't have a job. Will the Dark Brothers be involved in the Star Cache? Someday the Dark Brothers will be involved in more. What signs will have the best 2026? That's not, I don't believe in that kind of a thing. Well, Gord, so I don't make, you all know I don't make YouTube videos. YouTube plays very little role in my money. The Dark Bros are funny as fuck. Are you in the files? Soon enough. Do your which gimmick? I have many. Memes matter. Memes matter. No trust fund. No trust fund. I've made all the money myself. Chris, do you know the girl? I hate fucking Gary the Numbers guy so much. Thank you, Intuition. Fucking hate Gary the Numbers guy. I hate numerology. No crypto. Never crypto. I hate Gary the Numbers guy so much. It's unreal. Complete retard. Disregard all of it. Disregard all of it. I really, you know who's really good though? Taylor Prosopa. And we have the good Gary. The really good Gary is Gary Kristen. Astrology Unc. Astrology is right on TikTok and Instagram. Everyone is grifting off numerology. Numerology is the dumbest nonsense. It's so bad. It's schizophrenizing. If you learn about it, schizophrenizes other people. You know, it's something to laugh at and mock if you know anything. Yes, life affirming. There's exactly. It's many different avenues like that. I love foxes. Foxes are Mercury. This is something Jung writes about, the alchemists wrote about. There are comments being hidden, and I want to know what they're saying. Let's see. If it, why are messages about sex being blocked? Yeah, there's a fascinating question. Oh, foxes. Let's talk about the fox. So the fox is one of the cards in the Lenormand. To me, it is the magician. The fox is the best depiction of Mercury in the deck. I'm going to find him for you all. Jung writes about it, I believe it's in Archetypes and the Collective Unconscious. And he talks about when you get to the Holy Mountain, there's a fox that guides you through. And it's the form of Mercurius. You know, the fox is clever and sly and tricky. That's Mercury. There's also this element of foxes rob, in a way. I think of Reynard the fox. Mercury is a thief. This is something people forget. Mercury is a thief. One of the great epithets for Mercury is Hermes Argifontes, which is killer of Argus, but it also means dog killer. You know, he kills guard dogs because he is a robber and a thief. Stunned by Hermes. I do smoke a pipe once in a while. I'm inside Schizosinkhole. I can't smoke a cigarette in my house, sadly. In some houses I do, but not in this one. I don't think, no, I think vaping is more harmful. I'm only doing it because I'm inside a house that I don't smoke cigarettes in. Everything supernatural undoubtedly worthy of mockery. Great point. It's very important to have a complete nonchalance with the spiritual, to laugh as much as possible. Never take it too seriously. Will you ever come back to New York City? I was in New York City a lot of this month already, working. But yeah, I'll do a talk. I'll just have to talk to one of the guys. But I know the new Sovereign House is gone, but Rain is there. I could probably talk there if I wanted to. Foxes are Mercurian. Looking. You most likely find Milo Fitness absolutely most likely find $300 to $500 each week while going for a stroll in the wilderness. That is the Whimsy Maxed answer. I mean, yes, all of my money certainly comes, magically. I don't try too hard to make money. I think it's a dangerous thing. Call Griffin. He should call me. He should call me. I'm working more. First thing he did was steal Apollo's cows. How could the opposite of Andrew Tate be popular? Andrew Tate, for all of his flaws, is a big personality. The opposite would be a small personality. And it's hard to have a big personality focused on being, normal. It's a hard thing to do. I do like hiking. Hike Tom Thumb in Arizona. What's that? I've already done Agartha memes years ago. Yeah, exactly. Juice box. You're completely right. The opposite of Andrew Tate would be a Venusian person. It would have to be a woman. There are big personalities. Of course, there are big personalities more interesting than Tate. The person was just asking what the opposite of Tate would be. Have you ever published your natal chart? No, but people can know. How the fuck, bro? Do you hear the things that I'm talking about? There are lots of people who do want to know these things and who are willing to pay me to know. Blair, I mean, you can all listen to the MIA. We did an episode last month. How long we've been going? 30 minutes. Tall protrusion in the earth like a thumb. Interesting. And it's called Tom Thumb? I don't think that Chinese astrology is useless. It's just too complicated for me to start to study. So Scorpio and Aquarius square each other. It's called a square because they're both on the fixed cross. It could be a different aspect, but just by virtue of their nature, they square. Where can I find your book that maps out? If you want to know about my I Ching and Kabbalah, you got to go on tetragrammaton.com. I am going to be tailoring with, I am going to be collabing with Prosopa soon. We've talked about it. I love Prosopa. I think his content is really wonderful. I do still do natal chart readings. If anybody wants a reading, you have to email me at this point. I don't like using Calendly. Just email me. What's my favorite color? I would say right now it's probably a dark green, similar to the sweater I'm wearing. Thoughts on the prison planet? Simply not the case. Things are very good. I don't know, Jord. What does he make? Rick Rubin is fun. Rick Rubin, we draw pictures and hang out. Thoughts on the black pill community becoming mainstream? Unsurprising, entirely unsurprising. I described it years ago that it would be mimetic, it would spread virally, and it did. If they watched my video, they'd get better. Most occult and esoteric knowledge does not benefit one's life at all. It generally harms life. It's very difficult to figure out how to make it good. Zoltar version of me. I know, an AI bot fed on my language. Wow. I don't believe we're in the Matrix. No. I think that we have constructed, we right now on the phone, we are in a Matrix, a human constructed Matrix. Ooh, favorite Chinese character etymology wise. Oh my God, what a question. That's really tough. Probably, eye, the image of the eye. But that's a really hard question. Bright, sun, moon. There's just so many beautiful ones. I write about them on the Substack every week, different ideograms that I really love. Of course, I followed the mystic practices in book 4. That's how I learned things. Gold medal has a beautiful etymology. Yeah, I like, well, I see, it's interesting you say. I've always viewed the ideogram of gold looking like underground metal, like it's earth with things underneath. Somebody said, your name is Chris. Very powerful name. Thank you. Do you think? We did a natal chart reading of Chris Chan. Very fascinating. I'm excited to put it out. Autism is media-induced in the vast majority of people alive today. I think that it's very, very rare when it's actually genetic. What do you do if you're not cut out for magic? Yeah, of course, just ignore it. It's meaningless. Just have will, bro. Andre, good to see you. Good to see you. Never manifest money. Never manifest money. Manifest bigger things than money. I love Jodorowsky. Jodorowsky is one of my favorites. I don't hate whole sign. I just don't use whole sign. I use Placidus. Because I like, I think it's important to see how the sky is influencing it. How to be more Leonian in the new Aeon. You just have to follow your libido. If your libido has high enough desires, you will be. The iPad babies are, the they are the ones who will build the houses of the Superman. I read Pooh Bus. I really don't. I don't really have that much interest outside of the I Ching and Tao Te Ching. I like poetry. I like some Chinese poetry. I've translated some poems, but it's not like my thing. It's just something I like a lot. It's not something I would dedicate too much more time to. I have, of course, read 1,000 Plateaus. I have multiple videos on here utilizing it. When I'm in LA, I am generally on the east side somewhere, depending on when I'm there. I don't think cold weather lowers libido. I did get jolly again. I did get jolly. When was I unjolly? When was I unjollied? The mimetic immortality of Charlie Kirk. That is really my argument. I'm adding that word, immortality. Somebody asked about the memification. If you die and you become a meme, you are in many ways blessed because you are immortalized. It's good to be immortalized. I think, there were very negative memes about him before he died. I think now that he's dead, there's a lot more positivity than I will certainly go to D'Annunzio's in Italy. Anyone care to drop email ADR? Just email MemeAnalysis2@gmail.com. A new form of Christ will come, yes. Auto rank, not one of my favorites, but not too bad. I don't think the soul can become rotten, but the soul can leave. If you don't do what you're supposed to, the soul will leave your body. I was very briefly in Germany, but I would like to spend more time there. I'd like to go to the bar where Faust went. I hate Zins. They make me throw up. Anton LaVey is nothing. If your soul leaves the body, yes, everything is dulled. Of course, I've seen The Holy Mountain. I love Jodorowsky, already said. Love Heraclitus. The soul leaves the body, and you lose your reason to be. You lose your willpower. The angel leaves. Can the soul return? No, absolutely not. You're fucked. You're fucked if your soul leaves. And I think that this is. I think spiritually, LaVey is nothing. He's an amusing character, but like spiritually, of absolutely no importance. Viewers under 20, I would want things, desire things, and then get those things, and that's it. But make your desires big, make your desires distant, go as far as you possibly can. Absolutely, there are real guardian angels. You have to have a relationship with the angel. You have to live a good life, do the will of God. Your soul will stay with you. So the soul has a goal with your body, with you. And if you don't do it, it'll find somebody who can. Thank you, Mobius. I was very disappointed with TM. I've met people who are like, wow, this is helpful. And I mean, that's cool for them, but it does nothing. It has done nothing for me, sadly. I mean, I'm happy, Lynch, obviously, it must have done something great for him, but not for me. I don't do Lent. I'm not a Christian. If you want to understand my thoughts about the supernatural, you got to get my cryptid deck where I explain them in depth. Unc-Nef dialectic. I mean, this is really just the boomer and the zoomer in the new speak. How do you become good at tarot card readings? You just read all of what I've written, but forget all of what I've written also. Just pull cards for people. Read other people as much as possible. I learned to get good at card reading because I just read cards for everyone that I could. I read cards for strangers all the time. It's important to get good enough at it. Whew, allergies. My gosh, what a shame. Thank you for the bless you, Xanaquin. You all should be saying bless you. This is like dogma. You didn't say bless you when I sneezed. I don't read much fiction. What is there on Epstein? What is there to say? What is there to say? All the conspiracy theorists were right. I mean, that's really it. Where did I get my ideas about the soul? Lots of it from Jung, lots of it from older spiritual work. How to not be afraid that encounters with God lead to madness and death. You should be afraid. This is important to be afraid of. Fear is not irrational. Is the cryptid deck sold out? I guess it is. This is a Blair question. This is a at Meme Intelligence Agency question. Bless you, eat local honey, big dog. I know, I've been moving around so much. This is like the first day that I'm back in this certain part of the world. I do think there will undoubtedly be scientific exactness in the realm of spirituality, and quite soon. Magic Portal Man, yet again. Everybody switches up on me. Other than my true day ones. My true day ones always stick around. But people don't like when I'm busy. I'm a busy person, believe it or not. MemeAnalysis has motion in this world. People don't like it when I'm not with them. Mila, you gotta do a super chat if you want a card reading. Speaking of which, if any of you want a card reading, now is the time to super chat with a question, and I will read you all. Because I think I'm probably going to go maybe 20 more minutes. I'll make it an hour-long stream. But I might do this more regularly if you all are interested, because I'm certainly not going to be regularly uploading videos. Somebody's just emailed me. I do, of course, believe in demons. Have you listened? I have not listened to Blade. I have friends who listen to Blade, but that is not something I myself do. I would love to do Collins. I really don't know how. I have, of course, read Avila. I find his alchemy work to be probably his best. How much for a card reading? Depending on the price, I'll do a different type of reading. What happens at the soul? Metal band King Diamond and Merciful Fate. Some people know this. Undex Ember, I would. I mean, I was in Paris and Italy for quite a lot of the summer. I've not gone to England yet, but I would. You don't need to be posting to make it, just acting and doing. I do like some heavy metal. When I'm saying that the soul can leave in many ways, I really mean the guardian angel, the higher self. Heya asks, will I defeat my enemies? Let's see. I'm going to look at you. Heart, your enemies, dog. This is a fascinating one. This is a fascinating one. There's quite similar. They're interrelated. The heart, in this case, is Tiferet. It's the sun. The dog, I give to Leo for a variety of complicated reasons. Therefore, you have a rulership over this. You know, this is an enemy that is of your own nature. And in that regard, I would say if you change your nature, you'll change your enemy's nature. So there's an inherent interrelation. The question of defeat, I would say, is not necessarily on the table simply because you are part of the same larger thing. Sounds more like a competitor. Order of the 9 angles. Now there's a question, and not one that I'm ready to talk about right now, but suffice it to say I have many thoughts on it, and I'm doubtful I could share any of them on YouTube. I mean, talk about what a shame that is. Like, I really should be streaming on some other website, because plenty of what I'd like to talk about is totally not something I could talk about here. Shall I reach out? Abram asks. You are the bear. I think the person, okay, no. Letter, so yes, already, you should be reaching out. This is a fascinating one. Bear, letter, fish. You are coming from a position that I think has a bit more desire and intensity in this reaching out, obviously. But you do need to send it. But here, bear is Aries, fish is Pisces. This feels like somebody very sensitive to what you're going to have to say. I would send it, but expect to wait a long time. How do I find my golden thread on the internet? That's a great question. Move. Yet again, as I always say, move as much as possible. The cavalier. You have to do things. The golden thread is something that will become perceived. It's palpable when you're in motion. Will I find my true will? Whenever I give a reading, I always say, don't ask will, ask how. So I'm going to fix it for you. How to find my true will. Mountain. I think number one, literally climb a mountain. Two, if that's not difficult, you should do, when you think of a mountain, you should think of the most difficult thing. Do the most difficult thing. That is the only way you're going to find your will, is through difficulty. Yet again, not will I get yoked this year, how will I get yoked this year? Oh, there we go. Interesting. Yes, but it might not be to a good person. You're gonna get tied down to somebody gnawing at you. That's a funny one. Sorry to say. Kekaroni. What element am I missing in my creative projects? That's exactly the type of question I love to answer. Thank you, Shinyo. You need a collaborator. And you have to let them take the lead. You need a collaborator who's going to take the lead in this project. Probably directly a man. The card is gentleman. Is art the right path? Oh, goodness, it fell. It could be, but you have to study further. You need to understand more of what art is to figure out if it's the right path for you. More knowledge needs to be had. I thought I'm thinking of yoked like an animal. I'm thinking of yoked like a creature. Like, you yoke animals. But if it means getting buff, then yes, but it will kind of suck. It'll be painful, obviously. How do I move forward with solar sails? I don't know what that is, so this is going to be a fun one. Wow. Look at that. Random poll. Dream mirror, look at that banger. Look at that. Can't make that up. Follow the sun. I mean, do exactly what you're doing. This is a greatly benefic response. So you have the sun. Bro. Can't make it up. Sun, moon. Outrageous. I love when a reading is like this. This is when it gets so good, when you have a perfect natural sympathy. Suffice to say, this is the best reading yet in the directness with the question. And so here's actually the question, the answer. The answer is the Chinese character, which is sun, moon. It means bright or shining or intelligent. It's one of the ones Pound writes about. I would look that character up. That is going to have an answer for you. What direction physically should I go in from where I am? This is a good one. It's somewhere you need to fly to, for sure. Wherever you think, when you think of fertility, that's the place to go. You know, this is Stork is a card I give to Libra. So it's a beautiful place, it's a fertile place, but I imagine it's distant. It's distant from you, somewhere you need to fly off to. What am I missing in my balance of priorities? Luck. You need a little more. But you know the phrase "make your own luck." That's my answer. You have to make your own luck more. Your priorities are not good. Thank you, Flying Sloths. You didn't ask a question, but if you write it, I'll try to find it. How do I find my soul? Beyond Man asks. To find your soul, you got to hang yourself on the world tree. This is not suicide. You need to give yourself to the world. Give yourself over to nature, to life. It is through the contours of the world that you will see how you fit in. How can I become a lovable person? That's a sad question, but we're going to answer it anyway. How can I become a lovable person? Oh, that's interesting. Two really different ways. I think you kind of need to get into a chase. You need to chase after somebody. You need to really have a desire for somebody. And I think desire and love, feeling love, loving will make you more lovable. You need to like the Benny Hill, the going from door to door to door and getting mixed up. That is what has to happen. Because eventually you'll find the person you're chasing you back. That is the promise. That is the promise of Bear Crossroads. That's a funny image to come up. Could you pull for the relationship I got myself into? Og47, yes. And thank you for emailing. Thank you for emailing. You're paying attention. Relationship, it's good. And I think that you should travel soon. You should go on a journey together. That is going to be a key thing. Hugh Jazz, good to see you. How can I make better decisions? I think you need a systemic way of making choices, number one. There needs to be kind of a set way of going about doing things, a metric for you to compare actions that you take and don't take to see their value. There needs to be, kind of that an underlying logic if you're currently going off of emotion. Thank you, yo, this is insane, bro, I love you. Milo, thank you. What form should my next project take, and will it become my job? That's a big question. I'm going to try to pick out what form should my next project take. Yet again, this it requires a collaborator, most likely a girlfriend directly. You need a muse. You need a woman who's going to be your muse. If you follow her, you'll make the project you have to. How do I get in touch with my genius? Yet again, you got to make your own luck. Boop. You got to make things happen. Start doing things that the genius is like, oh my God, when is this guy going to do something? And you start doing things like, oh, look at that. I'm going to swoop in and make myself clear. Where should I be looking for this collaborator? This is a really fascinating one. Child. It might be somebody you knew when you were young. It might be like a childhood friend. It might be somebody with a child. But I'm getting the image that it's, or somebody who is childish in their own right. It's one of those. You probably know which one it is out of those, but the key is the child. Should I be hunting or fishing? Fishing, night fishing. How should I move and flow? With distant goals in mind, really thoughtful at home, get to where you need to go as quickly as possible, but like darting around places. Quick, active movement, like an arrow, with a goal. How do I defeat my past phantoms? Similar to the becoming more lovable. It's something of a doldrum. You're in like a hall of mirrors right now. So I'd leave. I'd just pick a door and run. Thank you, the wicked. How do I get over regrets? You need a beautiful woman who's going to make everything right again. Sad to say, but that often is simply the case. How do I get rid of a family curse? It's a fascinating question. Something needs to be destroyed. But it also might be tied up with your father. It's a patriarch. It's a patriarch who is holding on to the curse. There's a man. It's a bad man. Long-time watcher, first-time donator. Thank you, Schwanks. When will I become very, very rich? Yet again, I'm going to help you. How do I become very, very rich? You should start like driving and delivering things. A job that involves movement, driving. Or if you're, I don't know, if you're a farm guy, it might just directly be related to horses, land ownership, how you deal with land. What kind of a romantic partner is right for me? None right now. A dead one. Fall in love with the dead. Sorry to say. Or just somebody who's like dead serious. If you are happy and whimsical with that little puppy profile picture, you need someone who's very dead serious. Someone who's going to make you serious. Which career path is the most suitable for me? This is fascinating. A midwife, a doctor, a beautician, a surgeon, something along those lines. Something to do with beauty, with childbirth, with women. Oh, this is fun. Aren't these really fascinating cards? I love Lenormand so much. Young Anarch. How do I synthesize two contradictory thinkers? This is not a card question. How do I synthesize two contradictory thinkers like Hegel and Nietzsche, or Wilhelm Reich and Marcuse? You need to find, there's always going to be a thread. Find who did they both like? How did they utilize an idea from a thinker they both liked? Why did they both like them? Find points of agreement and points of contention. Just map that. You have to follow the flow of ideas. Following the flow of ideas is the best thing you can do. That's often what I did, because I have to synthesize a lot of various, very opposed thinkers, and you always can find a way, generally through shared influence. Like Hegel and Nietzsche are both in rapport with the Greeks, and figure out which Greeks, why, blah blah blah. I don't know how to explain beyond that. Sympathies. How to succeed at my next venture. You need to go somewhere else. Can't be done at home. Is love in the cards for me, or am I to give myself fully to God? Love is definitely in the cards for you, my friend. That is a heart right there. How can I make great art? You should be more focused on destroying something. If you want to make something great, you got to destroy something first. You should get used to cutting up paintings or something like that. It's very good practice. What should I do next? I'm in a different position. I really need to focus on my independence. You should try going deep. You should try going like somewhere like Seattle, somewhere dark, somewhere that it's dark and cold. That would help. The situation changed because you got to get deeper. I don't know if independence is the right word, but something like, monastic isolation. How can I learn to balance writing with my Greek? Unless we want writing to be first importance, but I feel like many things to learn. You should always you should always be writing about what you learn. Number one, not just for school, for yourself. Everything I learn can make a poem for me. Every time I do a card reading for somebody, there's a realization that I get. There's a new idea. Learning is the best opportunity for writing. You don't need to be a genius to start writing. The best thing is to continually write. Writing should just always be happening, especially as a student. But right outside the realm of schoolwork, there should be creative applications of everything that you do. Thanks for the magic. What does the path to starting my own business look like? Yet again, this is a really good one, the wicked one. The sun. So I'd imagine when spring starts, it'll probably start to get good. You might actually literally be influenced by the motion of the year, by the weather, but ultimately this is really good. The sun is a great card for something like that. It's immediately visible, very, very visible, and it moves well. How do I find my soul? This will be a card question. You be aggressive. Be aggressive. You need to fight something to find your soul, bright sun of the night. You need war. You should box or something like that. What is the best path to find myself again? You should talk to as many people as you can. You should always be talking and communicating. If you, the part, the you that you used to have is a kind of a confused thing, you should be talking and comparing ideas with others. That's how you'll find, again, what you are. Discern the contours of yourself against the words of others. How do I keep the mind from killing the vibe? Stop making sense. You should drink. You should drink. That sounds like bad advice, but it's not. Thank you, MIA Emperor. Reading for my wife. What should she focus on? What should your wife focus on? Yet again, we're getting the sun. To focus on what's bright, what's good, what's positive. I mean, I think that there's a lot of good. But certainly the spring and summer are going to have more. If there's problems going on right now, that is the better time. Like that business question, things change with the seasons in a case like this. One more. What do I need to focus on this year? This year, you need to focus on getting the message out, getting that message out. Communicate, getting the word out. I always love doing these kind of individual card readings. 1 card, 2 card readings. These are so much fun. Card question. How do I find patronage? Yet again, you gotta this is a funny one. Mountain, you gotta do something really difficult. That will make you stand out. And kind of like lightning strikes you if you're too high, that's what will happen. You need to do something very difficult first. Should I get into politics? It's an interesting time to be alive, young anarch. Should I get into politics? It's not the time, but it could come, but not right now. Too interesting of a time to be a politician. Once Uranus is further into Gemini. I've discovered in myself a surprising amount of resentment toward my mother. How do I resolve this? Go away from her. Spend enough time apart. Go make your name in the world. And that's that. Like the world in many, Mother Nature. The world is the mother. The moon is the mother. You need to make good with the capital M, mother, to make good with your mother. If you don't come to see the world as good or valuable, then how and why would you ever see why your mother brought you into it, and even if she did it wrong? I've been following my soul more, but I feel like I hurt some people doing it. Absolutely does not matter. We are here. We are like in go-karts. Our bodies are like go-karts. And it just does not matter. You need to do your will. And if that involves hurting other people, it is ultimately a superficial problem. Unless you're killing them, unless you're doing something really, really bad, which I doubt is the case because you are on MemeAnalysis YouTube's channel. It's very unlikely that you are shooting people and stabbing and such. It just doesn't matter. Good to see you putting your skills to work. Pull a card for me about purpose and practice. Joel's on farm. Let's see. Purpose and practice. You got to establish. It's funny. I thought I read farm. That would be a good thing to get into. Owning a house, owning a store, a farm. You need a place. You need a stable thing to, direct all that energy into. Purpose and practice. You need your own place. How can I ensure I will find a career I enjoy? I will say, oh yeah, it's a good question. We're getting the sun a lot. Just follow what's bright. It'll be very immediately obvious to you when it's a career that you'll enjoy. If you're kind of suspicious about it, it's not clear. How do I return magic to my relationship? That's a great question. You both have to suffer. You both need to undergo some kind of trauma bonding. You need, yeah. I mean, this sounds ridiculous, but it's funny. I was, the MIA, we were just talking about this. Just talking about how sometimes, the best thing that can happen to a relationship is something terrible. It bonds you more than anything. So, sorry if that's bad advice. It sounds like bad advice, but that is the case. Card question. What should I do? Where should I seek to find individuation and self-reclamation? Should I stay the current path or look somewhere new? You have to stay the path. You've planted the seeds. You need to let them flower. Let them flower. It will come. Overcoming inhibitions with the fairer gender. Oh my gosh. It's a horrible, I don't know. You need to deal with the concept of pregnancy, something like that. You need to that's a rough answer. I don't like that. Or just focus on beauty, focus on the value, aesthetic values. What goals should I orient myself towards? Suffering. Find your cross. Find your cross. Find the cross worth bearing. That will help you the most. Bear that cross up to the end. The stork is the baby bringer. You all know this. Oh, that's a funny one. I'm sorry. MIA Emperor. Oh. But no, this is, the readings that I'm doing right now, these are quite different from what I do during a one-on-one reading in which, there's a large arrangement of cards that tell a larger scale story. When I'm doing it quick like this, I might do one or two or three. Which deity can I become friends and lovers with? That's a fascinating question. But a good way of viewing it, because I do think friendship with the gods is a good aim. Which deity can I become friends or lovers with? It's a fiery one. It's one that's related to fire. Is it mental? illusory or real? That's not even decided yet, my friend. That's still up in the air to be decided. I have a message to spread that goes against long-standing convention. How do I go? Now, this is a fantastic question. That is a question I like. How to spread an unconventional message. You also need to set a fire. You need to, it's going to be violent. You got to burn something down, not literally, but, spiritually. Burn, church burning. You got to burn something down. The fire will spread. Should I embrace syncretism or pick one part only? This is a good question because it is different for everybody. Not everybody can be syncretic. Should I embrace syncretism or pick one part only? You should pick one part only, and it should probably be Christianity. Or, something really well established with the buildings that you can go to. Anchor is the Hierophant, which is the church, the Pope. You need a spiritual authority to follow. You need a place of worship. Also, keep in mind, for those listening, these are individual answers. These are not universal answers. Because the answers are different for everybody for even just the same question. How to clear the filth and distractions, Junior. Talk to people. Yet again, psychoanalytic. You need somebody to talk to about all of these things. If you don't talk about it, it'll remain dirty. It'll remain infectious. Or, but not infectious, but it'll remain active. You have to talk about it. Sunlight disinfectant. How can I find a good job? Might be what you wanted to do when you were a kid, but it also might be childcare directly. I'll clarify that. Child with mountain. Yeah, you should try to do what you wanted to do as a kid now that you're older. You gotta go back. Go back. Look back to what you wanted. What should I change about myself this year? You have to follow cleverness. You got to go down a rabbit hole. You should find a calling, kind of a mysterious calling, and just give yourself to that. Like I was saying, following the fox down the rabbit hole is how the magicians would get up the holy mountain. It's a secret entrance. You're going to have to follow. You have to follow something. That is the magical answer. It's also fun to use these Lenormand cards. I think they give a very vivid, fun answer in a way that some tarot cards can't. Part of the, I've been doing these kind of avant-garde Lenormands, but soon I will be doing something more in the style of this, like a classic Lenormand. I look forward to sharing it all with you. How can I be more direct and manly and not so weak? You gotta, number one, accept the feminine part of yourself. If you want to be manly, you need to understand what it is that you are feeling that you are right now. If you can fully develop that, you'll have more of an understanding of what the masculine is, how to, incorporate it. Which guy holding a trident should I follow? One or two? That's a funny question. Which guy holding a trident should I follow? The clever one, Natalie. You got to follow the clever trident holder. The one who has to do with anything underground. I'm at a strange, chaotic point in my life. A lot of stuff is collapsing. How should I navigate this? Yet again, you need to keep your wits about you. If you can outsmart the situation, don't doubt that you can. Don't doubt that you can outsmart it, but be paranoid. Be like pay attention to what's going on. If you keep your wits about you, you'll get through it perfectly. How do I make the work I do in my field better? You should try doing things in a dumb way. You should try doing things in a very different way, in a way that other people might think is stupid. Be willing to try new things in that field. That's how you'll make it better. How to remove the regret, disappointment, and hate. Punishment and severity. If there are people responsible for problems against you, you need to seek to punish them. Not necessarily revenge, but and if it's yourself and you're doing things wrong, you should, to a degree, punish yourself, discipline yourself, and apply discipline in general. How do I escape my current situation? You got to just ride away. Get in a car, get on a bike, and leave. Physically. This is a physical thing. Taylor Sturley, thank you. I didn't get a question. How can I build anti-fragility through this life? How can I build anti-fragility through this life? You have to be the you have to be the one doing the bad things. Taylor, I see your comment. How do I find passion outside of people? That's a great question. How to find passion outside of people? Architecture. You should be looking at old churches and castles and beautiful buildings, beautiful structures. You are somebody who's going to be able to appreciate the beauty of structure, natural structure and man-made structure, but something beyond man, or at least beyond the current life. I always, in hindsight, feel like I should be direct. I don't know if that's a question. This is not the fairy tale deck, Eric, sadly. This is the basis for the fairy tale deck. This is, the Lenormand, the deck used by Napoleon's fortune teller. Ace of Space. How do I find what I feel is missing in my life right now? I'm going to pull, this was a $10, I'm going to pull a more complex reading for this. So there's you. Clouds. Shoot, dropped it. Hold on. Gotta put y'all on the portable charger. There's you, which is clouds. What's missing? Wow, so fucking clear, so fucking direct. Clouds and an anchor. How do you pin down an anchor? How many angels are dancing on the head of a pin? How do you make clear something that is vague? How do you catch lightning in a bottle? This is really the fucking question for you. It's like part of you is just completely out and you want to find an anchor for it, but it's like, what part of you are you willing to sacrifice from being infinite and free and buoyant or whatever into material? You have to sacrifice some part of you to make it material. What need was I incarnated to fulfill? It's a very big question. Don't expect a great answer. There's somewhere you need to go, probably. I'm not gonna lie, that's a bad question. That's too big. Girlfriend's job is causing her burnout. Endure or quit? When it's time to quit, she'll quit. I wouldn't worry about. I would endure, and then as soon as it's fucking time, leave. Oh, no! I almost didn't make it. I almost died right then and there. Coming into the horse here, how can a snake year 5 path? No, that's too complicated of a question for me. I'm not that knowledgeable about Chinese astrology, but I'll see what the cards have to say. Yeah, again, set a long-term goal. Have a goal set for the end of the year and do your best to fulfill it. Dropping my digital baby on the head right now. Day is hosting. I'm extremely fascinated with physiognomy. I talked about it in the interview the other day and early on in this video that I really, really like Prosopa Insights on YouTube. I think everybody should subscribe to them. They are doing some of the most fascinating work. They've even done a little, I was included in one of their videos, which was great, about my big fangs. I think it's really fascinating. I've been interested in physiognomy for a long time, and I've never found any resources I found trustworthy or enjoyable, but my goodness, he's really, really good, really about it. Can't recommend him highly enough. Prosopa Insights. We're going to be doing a collaboration at some point soon. How to speak. My Mercury is retrograde in Gemini. Well, it's good that it's in Gemini. It's in you have a domiciled Mercury, but in retrograde, obviously, there's a little. But by nature of being domiciled, it's already being helped. I wrote something a while ago about retrograded planets in general. So I would try, speaking nonsense when you have to. You should try something like tarot or being a psychic. It might be about indirect speech. Indirect speech is good for a retrograded Mercury. You'd be very good at it by virtue of it being domiciled in Gemini. Should I prioritize restraint or consistency more? See, I think restraint and consistency are pretty much the same, but consistency. Things should be settled. The way that you do things should be settled. Senior living in large, am I where I'm supposed to be? No, you're somewhere very difficult. I mean, you're probably doing something that you should be doing, but I wouldn't settle down there for sure. I need to go somewhere. Where might that be? To the big. Remember maybe not New York, but the big place. Where's the big place to you? Somewhere bright and important. How do I light a fire under the hearts of men and become a Caesar or Napoleon of my age? Well, I hope you'll remember me, Imperious Caesar. You should be a man of letters. You should set more distant goals. Caesar and Napoleon didn't just have goals in their lifetime. They had goals infinitely beyond, and that is why they were great men. If you only want to be somebody who's already existed, you've already failed. You need to set your goals higher. Something really important about Caesar and Napoleon is that they idolized gods to a point where they often thought they were gods or were directly helped by gods. That's what made them great. I've been spending a lot of time on getting better at my job at the expense of reading and creative pursuits. Should I stay the course or pivot? I think you should continue building up this expertise. Being an expert is very good. If you are an expert at one thing, you should be able to apply it to all things. It's that Japanese samurai wisdom. If you know the way, you see it in all things. Continue becoming better and better and better at it. Then you'll know how to be good at anything. There's always time. Can you leave this live stream up for us to review, Beyond Man? Yes, I would imagine so. It'll probably get demonetized temporarily and unlisted because I've said naughty words, but ideally it will be up. Yes. Yes, young Anarch. I think Napoleon and Caesar were both very learned men. You know, becoming great is, it's a large problem. It involves a lot of things, and people often mistake what it is that's happening in great people, why they do what they do. There's very large things at play when one makes oneself a big enough part of the world. Next time, maybe we'll use the Starcash Tarot. Should I do as a Libra Sun, Scorpio Moon against struggling with indolence and ill health? Gavin, I'm thankful for the donation, but truly I would need to see your entire chart. If you email me at memeanalysis2@gmail.com, you can find out the time you were born. The rising is really, really important because if it's a 12th house sun, it's a 6th house sun. There's, entirely different things to be figuring out in regards to illness. It's a really particular question. The anchoring with astrology is what tells me like this is something that would need closer, deeper attention. Amanda, shoot for the stars or settle realistic long term. Well, I don't need to pull a card, but I will. But you should be shooting for the stars. Always. Everybody should always be shooting for the stars. But you gotta, somebody's gonna take you there. Whichever way you pick, you gotta let people take you along for the ride. But that's also about finding somebody who you trust to take you for the ride. Best beginner astrology book, Libra 536. I don't even know what the fuck Libra 536 is. I always say just the Thoth deck and the Book of Thoth is really all that you need. Libra 5, maybe you're talking about something else. 536 is not Crowley's astrology books or his treatise on astrology. But you should read more of his writing about astrology that he co-wrote with Evangeline Adams. Really excellent stuff. Really, really excellent. What is the source of my strength? Probably coming from down the line. It's probably your lineage. You probably had a good dad. He had a good dad. His dad had a good dad. And ideally, you can be a good dad too, but you got to tap in. You got to tap into that. How do you get started understanding the I Ching? Jacob, you are in great luck because you can go on tetragrammaton.com and read my commentary and articles all about that, all about the I Ching and how to use it. I don't use sidereal astrology. Oh. Cultivate strength when they come from a long line of weak. Ugh. Just gotta find it from yourself. Should I take a big adventure in July or lay low? Take a big adventure in July. Big adventure. Take that big adventure. And take it by cruise. I had a bunch of my friends took boats this year and last year. All I hear is very good things. You should take a long, long boat ride to a distant nation. That would be my recommendation. Like take a cruise to Europe if you're an American. I've been thinking about doing this myself, actually. MIA cruise. Would you all come on a cruise boat? We could all, take over a cruise and then like have a pilgrimage in Europe. Find, that could be fun. Pirates. Completely right. Completely right. This will become our pirate ship. We'll be drunk every night. It would be really fucking beautiful. That's my feeling. I'm kind of liking this idea. I might have to, I'm going to talk with Blair. We'll figure out an MIA cruise. What an idea. The Goon bus, we're setting aside for the Goon boat for now. Exactly. We're doing, like, we wanted a houseboat fucking years ago. Um, we almost did a boat party 4 years ago. But I do think, do my guardian angels look, that's a fascinating question. Do my guardian angels look down or up at me? That's a really fascinating question. In general, I would say they look down from above, but hmm, it's all the same. It's really a matter of perspective. It's a closed circle within God. I guess it depends on what they're up to. You know, if they're tying your shoelaces together, they're looking up. Well, once we land, we start looting. Someone said, "Thank you for reading, even though it's tiring." Fortunately, reading generally doesn't tire me. I'm just tired in general at the moment. I've been very active. It's been a very, very active year so far. Thank you. You helped me a lot in the past with your vids. I'm very happy to hear that Deus hosting. I bought some of your cards too and a gift. I'm very, very, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much, Deus hosting. I only wish that YouTube wouldn't convert the currency, because your CHF is probably worth like 10,000 US dollars right now. But thank you very, very much. I'm very happy that my work has been of help. You know, that's one of the things that I've always felt the most proud of is my cards. I'm always happy when people use something that I've done regularly. It makes me very, very happy. I seek to offer, you know, really practical tools. I'd like to make things that everybody could get use out of. Whereas I know that my videos have an inherent limitation. Should I utilize substances for creativity or finally try to commit to sobriety? Whichever one's more difficult. You should do the difficult thing. Whether that is being sober, if being sober is very hard for you, that's what you should do. If continuing to use drugs is more difficult, then that's the thing to do. Do the hard thing. Can you elaborate on whimsy, philosophy, magic? So one of the decks, so this to me is a very whimsy maxed deck. Lenormand is whimsy maxed because it's using cards. Obviously it has the moon, but it's got a tree and a horseback rider and a mountain and a coffin, a rod, a fox, a ring, a house. These are very, very simple things. These are really, really, really simple objects and motifs. And that's what I really like about it, you know, because it's already kind of operating on a fairy tale logic. It's operating on a whimsical logic. I need to go and grab a portable charger. I will be back in like 2 seconds. It was only when working on a play, on a performance that I wrote and directed in Times Square that I ever learned the great wisdom of the portable charger. Very, very useful. Very, very useful. Now I just need to try to fucking set it up. The last one. Let me see. We're gonna get it. I've had the caffeine. The cryptid deck, yeah, somebody asked, do we use the cryptid deck differently? It's extraordinarily different. Yes, it's very different from a normal deck. It is very, very different from a normal deck. I'm just gonna have to hold this nonsense, sadly, for now, for a second. That's the dead one. That's the live one. Look, it's Master Crowley. Don't you forget it, bud. Don't you forget it. That's a great one, Eric. Pulling out mermaid before meeting a professional swimmer. Get a phone holder base now. That would be lovely. I would love to have a setup, but I don't. I am a technology-less chud. I don't like any. All right. There we go. As a male, while I am urinating, you should piss as hard as possible, bro. You have to be stream mogging. I'm stream mogging all of you right now because I'm streaming and you are watching. I'm stream mogging. You're being stream mogged right now. I am stream maxed, which leads me to the stream mogging of all of you. This is very fun. MIA was telling me that I need to be fucking streaming, and I was like, I don't like being a clown, but you know what? I do kind of like being a clown. I like talking to you, all of you. I enjoy spreading ideas more than I do keeping them all to myself. Believe it or not, it might seem like I'm arcane and esoteric, but I really do like sharing my thoughts. Obviously, I love talking. When you're casting magic spells in the kingdom through your crystal ball, but it's low-key running low on mana, so you have to charge it using the arcane network. Oh, heavens, every magician, every wizard knows that problem. It's a classic. And it was literally like magic to me, because I would always, have to lug around a wired charger, which is annoying when I'd go out somewhere. Terrible, terrible. This is in the context of when I have to like film and photograph things. Otherwise I wouldn't be on my phone so much, but in this case I like to film junk and all that. I needed to have these things accessible. Advice on dealing with the cruelty part of love. That's the best part, Big Marble. The best part of love is cruelty. Once you find the key, what do they say? Lock it up and throw away the key. Willingly sequester lovers. Willingly cut off parts of your life once it is time. If not Napoleon, how does one become a Hassani Saba? They are the same type. Perhaps Hassan, in some ways, even greater, because he was doing a much more difficult task of organizing his men. Napoleon already had a fairly organized army to deal with. Hassani Saba was doing something, in some ways, more legitimately exciting and new. Is my anima aiding or tricking my inner journey? The anima is all... Tricking is helping. The trickster is the helpful one. The person who appears to be giving you advice and appears to be wise, that's the one to look out for. That's the lie often. The one who's playing and joking is often the one to trust, or at least if you fall for their trick, you will learn much more than you would following the wisdom of another thing. How does one cultivate aura? Just do what I do, bro. Do exactly like me, and you will be aura maxed. Aura maxed. I've been aura maxing my whole darn life. It is just animal magnetism, though. It is ultimately something you're born with and something that you, I guess, have to play with. Interacting with people, learning how to direct energy in general. Should I continue to commit to my career path? I've spent so many years and it will require many more. You should just try to get around spending so much time doing it. There's a smarter way of doing what you're doing. You could achieve more quickly if you wanted to. If you do things the smart way, not the hard way. There will be events in New York, again, most likely quite soon. Yes, yes, I look forward to it. How to make the best use of free time when life slows down. Amanda. And just focus on what's beautiful. Focus on making beautiful art, doing beautiful things. Pleasure. Taking pleasure in beauty. Saturn also appreciates beauty. Saturn doesn't despise, Saturn exalts in Libra. Saturn appreciates the hard work it takes to make a beautiful thing. A painting that takes 10 years to finish is something Saturn would love, no matter how saccharine and sweet it is. So what do you all think? Should I be streaming more regularly? Do you all want more streams? Dante, I don't know, it depends on where you live, or yeah, it depends entirely on where you live, basically, or if you're willing to come out. Some people are saying I should be streaming every day. That seems extremely difficult to me. I don't know if I could do it every day, but could absolutely do weekly. I think it depends on whether or not we get we need clips. We need clips of all this nonsense. I suppose. Treat me. You're in New Dante. What the fuck? You're in where we are in New Jersey. I think I will be streaming more. I do. I'm having a good time. There's a video that's coming up soon. There will be an actual video proper. But what do you think of the occultist views on LLMs? All of them are wrong. It's a real Turing test. It's a litmus test for an occultist whether or not they believe in AI. It's complete fucking bullshit. If you believe in it, I'm sorry to say you've been tricked. And if you're an occultist who believes in it, you are completely hopeless. Should I live on the land, work in agriculture? If you have family ties to something like that, if you have any members of your family who do that, I would do it, or at least try spending time with them to see how they do it. If it's not like in your nature, I wouldn't do that. No, it's a very common desire in South Jersey, though, Mr. Rich Boy. Where in South Jersey, Dante? Oh, how south? I was driving through South Jersey on the way back up from North Carolina, where I was filming those astrology videos. Oh. That's not that far. Or maybe it is. Maybe I'm just thinking, I don't know. I don't go south very much. So farther south I go is Asbury Park. What taste? Fairies like sweets. Fairies like sugar and honey. Can you go a bit more in detail in your opinion of... Yes. AI has not advanced since Cleverbot, if you all remember that. No advance. I mean, it's a chat bot that has a search. It has an ability to read a search engine. Trouble is, the search engine is entirely filled with nonsense generated, AI generated articles that are complete nonsense. And so it's feeding on its own feces, like I talked about 2 years ago. It's filth. It's complete. It's filth. It knows nothing. People are just falling for something that, mirrors human speech and imagining that it has a soul or a mind or anything. It's just, it's very disheartening. It is the favorite tool of the chicken nugget person. How will I become free? Yet again, you need to get away from where you are if you want to be free. I'm going to go somewhere different. You can be free in a new land. Should I quit my job? If you have a bad boss, you got to become the bad boss. If it's a conflict, then it seems like the conflict's probably going to continue. Quitting the job. If it would make you feel more powerful to quit, if you have a better job lined up, then quit, yeah. But no, AI, worst trick. Just so stupid, just so dumb. It's sad, this is the trouble with an illiterate population, is that they read something and it seems genius because they don't read. They don't understand words or speech for that matter. The most important thing you can do is learn to talk, is develop rhetoric and read as much as possible and read good things. You need to develop a grand literacy if you want to survive what's coming. I can say that much. The belief people have in it is so crazy. It's what people want, though. People want that. They want to believe in it. It's an aeonic image of God, for sure. Hopefully just not the aeonic God. Should I drop out of school and make a video game? Why not just make a video game while you're in school? I don't know. You should ask your girlfriend or ask your mom or ask the women around you what they think of that. They'll have a wise thing to say. Where have I been? I've been writing for Rick Rubin's tetragrammaton.com and traveling the world doing magic. And you should all read my pretty much complete book on every tarot card, how it looks in the 3 decks, Thoth, Rider, Marseille, and my currently weekly series on my I Ching translation. What is my opinion on the golem? I mean, they're real. You can make them. I think lots of the manufactured beings are very real. Every culture has them. They work well, and the internet's full of them, that's for sure. The internet is certainly full of, I think of the line from Twin Peaks: The Return, I was manufactured for a purpose. Henry, yes. Down the line, there will be print books of my articles. Do you have any recommendations for books similar to ABC of Reading? Pound's Guide to Culture. Any good, literary commentaries. I like Auden's Book of Light Verse. It's not exactly critical. Technicians of the Sacred. It's really good. I think it's Rothenberg. Really, that's one of my favorite books. I really don't like Freemasonry. I really don't like any occult organizations. I think most of them are pretty useless at this point. We're in a new aeon, a very different way of going. I mean, but learning anything is good. Doing anything in that regard is good. I just wouldn't seek to gain that much out of it. But I'm also no believer in like brotherhood or anything like that. Do I like any occult systems besides Crowley? I mean, I like, Taoist magic quite a lot. I like all of the Golden Dawn. I like Eliphas Levi. Should one learn Mandarin? I like reading traditional Chinese, but I am not particularly keen on speaking it. I'm not interested. I mean, down the line, maybe. But, I mean, I think China will continue to have a pretty large, oversized impact on the culture in general. Is life just a dream? No, but I mean, it's a good. If it is a dream, it's a very good dream, and it's not one that's going to just burst. What should I seek to transform into in my life? It's a fascinating question. A man of God, an ascetic. You should be someone who willingly suffers for others. This is that's what the card says, at least for right now. Shroud of Turin, probably. I mean, that's a funny question. The Shroud of Turin. I'd like it to be real. I mean, but at the same point, I've talked about this before. The need for like physical proof of biblical events is really atheistic. It's the opposite of faith. If you need the Shroud of Turin to believe in the resurrection, you are not a Christian. You are a scientist. You're not going to heaven. You're fucked. But I mean, it's neat. It's cool. How to make my current endeavor be successful. Apply discipline. If you're being too lenient about it, if you let it be easy and fun, it won't work. You're going to have to be very disciplined. Life has been very good. I have been, as I said already, but I'm going to keep repeating it until all of you have read my writing for Rick Rubin's Tetragrammaton.com, the whole of the tarot across Marseille, Rider, and Thoth, and now my weekly I Ching translation. If I stream, I'm going to be fucking pitching it every 5 minutes. You're going to get sick of hearing it until you read it and you realize, wow, he's been doing something really good. Please pick a card for me. What should I do? Gotta focus on something beautiful and creating something beautiful. Right now, I'm not kidding. Take out pencil and paper and draw something beautiful, or else you're fucked. Draw something beautiful right now as you're watching. What is your take on the utility of tarot reading? I have found everybody I read for has a lot to get out of it. Thank you very much, Deus Hosting. There's very few people who have not gained quite a lot from my reading. It tends to work very well. I wouldn't attribute this to me necessarily, but anybody who's really good at reading, there's a lot to gain. There's a lot to gain. Should I do my homework? Yeah, I think I might stream more regularly. I think that this could be fun. We can clavicular style stream while I'm on adventures. But I don't really like opening my life that much to the internet. It's important that you all are questioning what it is that he does. But you should all be following the God Disc, me, on Instagram, so that you get some peeks at what's up. A lot of things that we get up to. The MIA, our merry pranksters. I'd really like to find a way to do call-ins. I really just don't know how. Like, I'm live streaming directly off of YouTube right now. The Starcash Tarot I thought I had upstairs, but it's not. It would take like 5 minutes to go get it, and I don't want to do that. The stream would end. The stream would fall apart without my immediate presence, nor do I want to take my phone through my house and show it to you all. But if I stream, one of these days this week, I'll have it on. I'll have it and show you all. It's a very beautiful blue color. If you're in the Goon Chat on Instagram, you can see pictures of it, pictures of us posing with it. I have a bunch of them, but I think we're doing some things with them before they're up for sale in general. But I am very excited for you all to have them. They are. It was a very, very fun process making the deck, working with Gary on some of these concepts. They will be on the Astrolabe website at some point, which is Gary's website. Yet again, Gary made all of the astrology software back in the 80s. Like, Astrolabe, Solarfire, you know, all of these softwares he developed with the guy Rob Hand. If you use astro.com, you know who Rob Hand is. Very, very important astrologer. You know, a lot of the people who kind of modernized or returned astrology to its more academic and scientific roots, he was in this crowd. You know, you should all be following Astrology is Right. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. It might also just be called Starcash. Go on Starcash. This is going to be a really great documentary that I'm producing. I'm really excited for you all to see it next month. I would never tattoo myself with a tarot card. It's something I would very, very willfully avoid doing. It's a dangerous thing. Good night, Joel. Thank you very much. No, I still need that Casio horoscope. I do have a moon phase Casio right here. But right now I'm wearing an old watch. I think it might be time to call it quite soon. New video is dropping quite soon, ideally tomorrow. We'll see. Anybody has any last minute card questions? Now is the time. It's very fun though. Very, very, very fun. I try not to read for myself too much. I try to primarily read for other people. Feeling a bit lost in life, what should I do? You should, yet again, make luck. The card is Clover. You know, when we seek luck, we also make luck. You know, look through the clover field to find the four-leaf clover. What's your opinion on clay? Like the material? I mean, it's good. It's funny, actually. I was just talking about the dream of Nebuchadnezzar, the statue with the feet of clay. I would say that, you know, it is a necessary building material, but it is not always a wise building material. But it's a good first step and a bad last step. What must I pursue? You must pursue stability. You need to stabilize yourself. You need to take care of your body, your worldly form, and the forms you take in the world. This is very important for you at this point. I'm agnostic, culturally Catholic, and Santeria, unlike most agnostics. I want to believe. Unlike average and decisive agnostics, but I struggle to. What's my path? It's got to be right in front of you. You need to see it. I would, you know, it sounds ridiculous, but there's a really good book title, actually, from Ouspensky, In Search of the Miraculous. You need to go out in search of the miraculous. You need to try to find and see a miracle. It happens. I've seen miracles. You can see miracles happen. You can see God at work. You need to seek that, though, in this case, because it's got to be right in front of you, you know. Reading about it won't do anything. Should I be dating, or is a relationship bad right now? It'll come when it's time. It'll come in the future, but wait for now, I would say. It's star. It's distant. It's far away for now. It'll come. Oh, heavens. Oh. What do they want from me? Hold up, gang. We gotta arrange the phone. What do they want from me? They want to talk to you. They want to talk. They want your ideas. Talk to them. But speech leads to other things, you know, love, hate, friendship, enemies. No jokers in this deck. No jokers. Just 36 proper cards. That's actually, it's funny you mentioned that. I am going to be in the next reprint, in the reprint of Symbol Gift of Thoth. I'm happy to announce that there will be a Joker. There might even be 2 Jokers. Really, actually exciting, revolutionary material. It sounds like I'm joking. I'm not. The Joker card is going to be really important to understanding the deck. I found a way to visualize the joke at play in the deck. So I'm very excited for you to all have the Joker deck. I knew you would ask what miracles I've seen. It's not a question that I can say. Miracles that I've seen. It would kill it to share it with the internet. But have faith. Have faith. A miracle can be proven. Obviously, the Catholic Church is dedicated to that, right? When they make a saint, miracles happen all the time. Once you go out in search of the miraculous, the miracles find you. When I first started, here's the story I'll give. When I first read synchronicity, when I first became wrapped in the concept, I immediately told all my friends about it, and of course, they immediately started happening to all of us. Even in that room, as I told them, it began. It spreads. Awareness spreads it. You know, miracle consciousness. Do I stay the course or change direction? Stay the course. Follow the thing through, but not to the bitter end. You know, let it, if you're making something, make the thing and leave. If you're working on something, do the job and leave. Don't keep going, but do the thing. Stay the course for now. Stay the course until it's done. Oh. Miracle consciousness. It's spreading. Yeah, just read about synchronicities and miracles will happen. That's really the key. If you seek these ideas, they come. If you seek this truth, it comes. M. Son of Sea Frog Squash Seed. Remembered MIA. I don't quite know what that means, old boy, but I am appreciative, and I'm happy you like the lion-frog dichotomy that I cooked up. That was something I cooked up in my studies of Aesop's fables. I remember having this discourse while I was driving around Nashville. My girlfriend was like really dedicated to proving my I think this was even something I was actually talking about in 2022 while I was at Shangri-La. But the Aesop's fable of the frogs and the lion is a good illustration of the dichotomy. I'm kind of struggling right now. What is my path? It might just be the Bible. Maybe you should read the Bible or an equivalent form book. There's a book. There's like one book you need, just like Dorian Gray. You need a book that's going to change everything. And it is accessible. It is in front of you somewhere. dancing is certainly a learning experience. And Giovanni, you did not ask a question, but I'm grateful for the donation. But ask the question if you have it. Deer or foxes? Foxes, every single time, foxes. Every single time, foxes. Every day. But I mean, I like looking at deer. I like a deer. But in every other regard, the fox. Foxes are cute too. I have a little fox in my car. How do I write beautifully? You just read. Read, 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 read. Write in the style of things that you read that you like. Just practice writing in various styles. But you need to take up influences, like, armor. Your influences are the most important thing. As McCarthy says, books are made of books. To write beautifully, you need to read beautifully and practice. Yeah, I do know. The parts of the Bible that are boring, if it's like the son of the son of the son of the son of the daughter of the daughter of the daughter, if I just skip, I don't care. I read what I like, but most of it is fantastic. So most of this, any story is great. Obviously, the genealogies can be boring. But that's just part and parcel. I don't think that I'm a Christian or a Rosicrucian, no. I mean, a Christian is closer, like I believe in God, and that Christ was the God of the Aeon of Pisces, yes, but the Bible is temporally, it's significant in its temporality. Somebody else had abrasive. How many cigarettes a day do you smoke? That it changes. It changes depending on where I live, depends on the weather, but like when I'm like having a fucking, when I'm partying hard, it can be a pack a day. If not, it'll be when things are normal, it could be half a pack a day. Sometimes a pack could last 3 days. When it's winter though, that's like it could last a week. I'm a pussy and I don't like to get that cold. Um, I mean, it depends. The vape is bad if you let it be bad, but like I don't. I like the clear. I like a simple. I don't like the fruity, crazy things. I loved your video with Izzy Griffin. What's your honest opinion of him? I think Izzy is curious about the right things. I think that he is a fabulist in some ways. I think it would be good for him to dedicate himself more thoroughly to like one field or one book. I think that following the news is inevitably bad. Like MemeAnalysis, by following popular memes, it always had a necessary end. Like the videos that I'm the most proud of are the videos that are about everything, the videos that are universal, not temporal. I don't, the videos that are about a popular meme, it's very embarrassing to me. And I think that's similar. Izzy should focus on bigger stuff, not things happening. Even though it's what gets the views, it's necessary. It's a tragedy. The internet's a horrible place to do good work. What should I focus on in my current project? Changes, transformations. Let the project change. Let the project do what it has to do. How do I overcome fear? How do I overcome the fear to create in earnest? That's a good question. Create gift. Make things as a gift. This is something I like to do. if you have something beautiful, if you have a beautiful idea, make something and then give it to somebody else. You know, if you have a lover, it's important to make them beautiful things, to write them poems. Write in earnest by writing as a gift, creating as a gift, paint a painting for somebody. It doesn't need to be for the world, but it needs to be for somebody. It doesn't, it could be a gift to yourself, but if that's the trouble, give them as gifts. I'll just be direct here. Hinduism or Buddhism? I don't know. I'm not particularly keen on either, but Hinduism, I would, I don't even know. I don't even know. I haven't read enough about either of them to really have a strong opinion. Uh, Hinduism morally is more appealing to me. Buddhism is not as morally appealing. That's my take. That is from what I know, that is my take. I'd like to try snuff. I've never had snuff. I think Jehovah's Witnesses are sad. People need to party and celebrate. I think Sufism is interesting. I don't know what power scaling is. Rick is a fascinating guy. It's been a pleasure working with him. I always enjoy the time that we've hung out. He likes what he likes. How do I find my true will? My friend, you gotta start being in the world. You have to see how it goes. You know, I've never done chewing tobacco. And you also have to do the Liber Samak. You have to do the headless rite. I don't know, I would just do traditional magic. I have never done chewing tobacco. I was seeing Twist. I want to try Twist. That looked fascinating to me. I've always been kind of scared of chewing tobacco because I hear it has fiberglass to pierce your lips, and that's scary to me. I don't like that idea. But I hate Zen. Zen makes me throw up. So, what's a favorite musician or band right now and for the past couple years, decade? I really like John Cale of the Velvet Underground. I can listen to him endlessly. Brian Eno has been extremely inspiring to me, especially his early work, his lyrical work. You know, he does very Burroughs lyrics. He's very inspired by William S. Burroughs, which is something, you know, I can't get enough of. The oblique strategies that he used to make lots of his music, I find this extraordinarily fascinating. Eno, Brian Eno, and obviously David Bowie, you know, the origin of all of this for me, the fascination with the occult. Um, Brian Eno, though, everybody should have a deck of oblique strategies. Um, it's wonderful stuff. I love Brian Eno. I have them too there, but they're in the other room. Maybe next time I will do some for the artists in the crowd, for the people who want to know about their art. It's a deck that I always use for art. You know, that's kind of the point of the deck. Um, it's quoted by REM in "What's the Frequency, Kenneth?" It's so good. It's so banging. Uru Booting on the Maya and Mexican gods. I was talking about at the beginning of the stream, but I've made a deck about them that is going to be coming out probably within the year. Very excited for it. Very excited for it. Um, it's something I'm proud of. My channel, obviously, my channel is not over. I'm right here. Uh, in terms of my decks, there is something to say that is that if you gotta buy them all because you can together make one complete 78 card tarot deck. And plus, the point of them is to compare systems because it's all the same bone structure with different ideas. Thoughts on the growing right-wing occult sphere? Can the left... Okay, so, I mean, great question, because politics must necessarily be secondary. Any occultist who puts politics first or politics central in any way is a traitor to God. Politics are entirely unimportant. They need to be ignored. They need to be destroyed. If you are going to be a magician, disregard it entirely. Whoever is going to not bother you is all that matters. Card question. Should I stick to Hinduism or Buddhism? Whichever one you think is more clever, whichever one you feel more challenged by, or that is quicker, you can get more done with. That's the one to stick to. What's the one thing I need in my relationship right now? Put a ring on it. Put a ring on it. Make it serious. You know, I'm gonna get some water. I will be right back. We are back. We are back. Gang. We are back. Oh. I used to be a skateboarder when I was a kid. I used to love skateboarding. My town, big skateboarding town, it's full of hills. One of the best skateboarding towns in the state. How do you do remediation on an algal sun? You cut your own head off as quickly as possible. That's the one. Good mind for it, Danotaku. How did you know? Are there like videos of people doing that? It's probably my friends that are doing that. I had a lot of my friends would do that. Chasha, if you go back earlier in the stream when it's uploaded, you will see I have a pretty extensive discourse on why AI is very bad and stupid. Your part of fortune on Regulus. Not going to say. That's a big fucking question. You'd have to pay for a chart reading to hear my thoughts on. The fixed stars. You should all read Chloe Margarita, though, on the fixed stars. Dan Otaku, you're from Highlands. Did you go to the Highlands Elementary? I think I've talked about Age of Capricorn somewhere, but I'm not going to talk about it right now. Dan Otaku, how old are you? You probably know lots of my friends. You probably went to school with me. I went to Hudson. Just in... Oh. When I think about skateboarding in terms of spirituality, I always think about Hermanubis on the Rider-Waite Wheel of Fortune. I'm not eating anything. I'd like to be, though. All right. All right. I think it's just about time. I think 10 more minutes. I think I'll end in 10 minutes. 10 minutes and that will be it. I love smoking. Smoking is going great. Cigarettes make me very pleasured. They pleasure me. I don't actually know if I can do 10 more minutes. If you want card readings or chart readings, either now is the time or email me at memeanalysis2@gmail.com. Or follow me on Instagram at thegoddisc with a K. If you reach out to me on either of those, we can arrange reading. Yes. I think I might have a few more minutes, a second in me. But I'm fading. I'm tired. I'm sleepy. Sleepy, sleepy, sleepy. I've been working insanely hard this month for beautiful things that you're all going to be able to enjoy very soon. We're doing very beautiful and exciting work, the MIA. How to relate to, oh my God, Amanda. Ridiculous. How to relate to use internet for growth and good. My answer or the card's answer? I think that's my whole channel's ethos, no? Getting tired, tired and mean. Cards have to say. It's a place where you can make your luck. It's a place where you can... Families are always rising and falling on the internet. Ascendant, a Sagittarius sun with a Leo moon. Wow, you're a prideful person. You're a very prideful person. This is a good thing, though. The Libra Mercury and a Virgo Venus. That's the fucked up part, you know. That's the fucked up part. Yet again, I'm getting tired and mean. My apologies if I'm being too rough on this chart. A Libra Mercury, I think, you know, you could probably draw well, but a Virgo Venus is fucked. A Virgo Venus is such a hard Venus. Thank God that I have a Libra Venus. You know, you're so particular about this and that, and, you know, how to find the right person, who's right, and everybody's wrong, blah, 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 blah. Can't send full question here, but here's an update. Thank you very much, Roxo. Dr. Roxo, the rock and roll clown who loves cocaine. Yet again, they're gonna fucking they're gonna unlist the video for saying that word. One more minute. And that'll be that. Very lovely. This is a really fun stream. I think we covered some good ground. We did Libra Moon. Okay, good. Libra Moon, good. Libra Moon, good. Okay. Not prideful. Not a super prideful person. Libra Moon, Mercury, and Virgo. This is a much better chart, in my opinion. Venus and Aries, I think, is very sexy. I like girls with Libra with a Venus Aries because, you know, opposes my Venus Libra. Roxo was at, what was Roxo asking? Oh, it was blocked. I'm looking now. How do I develop a healthy view towards women? They want to be when they want to be controlled and dominated. I'm with one I just want to love and appreciate their whimsical, feminine, fuck-up ways. Oh, that's a funny question. You just open your heart, Roxo. Open your clown heart. Be the whimsical. Be the whimsical. I don't know. Just have fun. Lead them to having fun and whimsy. You know, like dominating and leading doesn't always need to be a power play as such. It can just be toward having a good time and having fun. With that, we shall wrap it up. All of you should be whimsy maxing. All of you should be having fun and playing. And most importantly, all of you should be on tetragrammaton.com or my Substack learning my archaic, ancient, esoteric wisdoms every single week uploaded. And follow me on Instagram at the God Disc with a K. I think it's the God Disc pretty much everywhere, Twitter included. So all of you should come on and enjoy this work that I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of work, even though I haven't been uploading YouTube videos, and I'm very excited to share it with you all. And hopefully I will be streaming more. Let's see. This has been a very fun time, and I hope you all have a lovely, lovely night. And as always, remember, memes matter.